everybody. Welcome to another week of Midweek Scoops on Tony the Mole Adams' YouTube channel. And we want to thank you for supporting us so far this year. The actual footy is kicking off over the next few weeks. So we expect everything to get a lot more busy here. Before I introduce the man himself, don't forget to like and subscribe. Tony the Mole Adams, how are you, Tone?
Yeah, doing well, Steve. The countdown's getting closer. Vegas is getting closer. I'm looking forward to that and buying you a lemonade, and should be big.
Now the Super League kicks off as is customary a couple of weeks before, and the launch is here as we're recording this. The launch is here in Manchester in the morning, but they're not sure if it's going to go ahead because of possible snowstorms. So yeah, it's a bit new for me. It's something new, even though I've been here 5 years now. Now, before we go into the normal midweek scoops, Tony, you've been involved since that column appeared. There's been a bit of controversy involving Curtis Scott. Can you just go through that for the viewers?
Yeah, look, Curtis Scott, just a bit of background. He's been banned from playing rugby league because he assaulted and was convicted of domestic violence against his partner, Tay Clark. Tay's an Aussie girl who was a fine athlete in her own right until she hooked up with Curtis Scott. They had a very tumultuous relationship for a few years. She's out of it now, but she's still, as you can imagine, with battered women, she's still pretty traumatized by the whole thing. Curtis Scott now wants to become a boxer, and he's challenged Joey Leilua. He's challenged Dylan Walker, whose cheekbone he actually broke in a game a few years ago. And Tay Clark has seen these stories, and it sort of added to her angst, shall we say. The fists that hit her in the face and are now being talked about as Curtis Scott's new sport of choice, shall we say. And she's put up a heartfelt video on TikTok, which she actually gave me access to before she posted, basically begging Fox Sports not to promote Curtis Scott because she claims it'll put battered women back 20 years if he's allowed to fight and gain more publicity for considering all his background and his history, and he has a pretty long and checkered history. So I can understand that, and I'm sure there's plenty of women out there who agree. And it's a story that happened overnight here in Sydney, and it's created quite a lot of comment. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it does seem to be in poor taste that he wants to take up boxing. Okay, Tony, we all knew that the Chinese threat, national security, was a big driver behind Papua New Guinea and their bid to have a team in the NRL. But there's a very specific aspect of this that you've revealed in your column.
Yeah, I spoke to someone involved in the Papua New Guinea bid, and for those who don't know, the NRL are looking at an 18th franchise, and PNG are the raging hot favourites. It's expected to be announced mid-year, and I basically found out why. The Chinese have declared they want to put a port in Papua New Guinea. They're basically looking to extend their reach in the Pacific, and the Australian government naturally sees this as both a national security threat and a trade problem. And as a result, the Australian government is throwing $600 million at PNG to take a NRL team. The proviso, of course, is that they say no to China for this port. So it's a very interesting situation. And I know the other teams or proposed teams, the likes of Perth, of the Central Coast Bears, they're not happy, but there's bigger forces at play, shall we say.
Indeed, there are. Deep state. What about your next item, Tony, which is I found really interesting, so interesting that I have to remind myself what it is by looking at my phone. But it's from this part. It's late over here, people. sorry, but it's from this part of the world, actually, an academic study into rugby league and rugby union being played in schools.
Yeah, that's right. And it was a report commissioned by 3 universities over there at Winchester, Nottingham, and Bournemouth. They looked at rugby league and rugby union at junior level, and they declared it as a form of child abuse, which is obviously a worry to both codes. They said that children and parents are not legally able to give consent to play these sports, and that playing the sporting organisations are grooming participants and their carers basically to accept these brain injuries as part of the game. And their studies have shown that head injuries at an early age really affect people later in life, much increasing their risks of contracting things like dementia, Parkinson's. So it's going to be published soon over there. The report, it hasn't actually come out yet. It's going to be in something called Sports Ethics and Philosophy in the Journal of the British Philosophy of Sport Association. So that's one to look out for, because I'm pretty sure it's going to send shockwaves through both codes.
Now, who is, I've got to pronounce this correctly, Nehemiah Gordon? Have I said it correctly? Who is he?
I believe so, yeah. Look, he's a 20-year-old Kiwi. He's a fullback in the Roger Tuivasa-Sheck mould. Still a kid. He was playing rugby in New Zealand. The Storm were interested in him, but he's ended up signing with the Warriors. He's doing a psychology degree, so he's not your average 20-year-old footballer. And he wanted to complete his degree in New Zealand, so signing with the Warriors worked out well for him. He actually signed a train and trial deal a few months back, but after a couple of trials, they decided this kid's too good, and they put him on contract. He's going to start in Jersey Flegg. He's obviously got a long way to go, but he's one for the little black books, shall we say.
And finally, big Roy Asasi, he's back.
He is. And look, Roy's 42 years old, but I think it's fair to say he's one of the most respected front rowers of the modern era. Over 200 NRL games with the Bulldogs and then South Sydney. He captained South, he captained the Kiwis. He started his career way back in 2002. And he's going to play with the Coogee Dolphins Club. Now, they're a famous club, sadly, because they lost several players in the Bali bombings several years ago. But they're a well-known club in the South Junior League. Roy's going to be playing for them at 42, and he's also going to be helping with their young players in pathways. And that's a real coup for the Coogee Dolphins, because, as I said, he is a legendary player over here. I'm sure he's well known over there in England too. So well done, Coogee Dolphins.
Indeed, he is. Indeed, he is. Well, that's great, Tony. Thanks for the chat this week. Hopefully, I'm not snowed in here tomorrow. I'm not still in this hotel room in a week when we do this again. Yeah, enjoy one of your last 3 weekends of the year.
Will do, Steve. And yeah, no snow to report in Sydney.